Okay, so with Mr. S, we're going to warm up with some recall practice. So today I have my special guest, Oren, who's my 8-year-old son. He had no school today because it's election day. We already did our voting by mail-in, which is very exciting. So Stanley, come. Hold on, let me do it. So remember, one person at a time for now. So what I'm going to show you guys is if you have littles, or maybe you have littles coming to visit, is a lot of times they want to help out with the training, which is perfectly fine. But sometimes puppies will get more excitable or more jumpy. So what we're going to warm up with is a little bit with a couple find its, and then have the puppy practice a couple recalls to myself or to Oren. So I'm going to give Mr. Handsome over here next door a couple snacks. So here's a few for you. So what you're going to warm up with is you're going to take one snack and then throw it onto the floor for Mr. S to grab. That's okay. So try another one, but maybe a little further. Oh, well, when we do the find it, so what I'd recommend is show Mr. S that you've got a snack. So you're going to go right to his little sniffer, get his attention, and then go find it, and then toss the food. But let him find those, Oren. Come over here, and you're going to call him away from the distraction once he eats them all. So call him. That's okay. So when your puppy goes away, you're going to show him the snack, toss the food, and then you're going to go again, Stanley, come, and you're feeding for that lovely response. So now you try and get Mr. S's attention. So show him you got something. Yep, now throw it. Nice. And then go ahead and call Mr. S. Nice. So if sometimes the child or you are not fast enough with the recall, don't worry. You're still going to be feeding Mr. S for his attempt at coming towards you. He lost his little find it, so I'm tossing an extra snack out so we can find both of them. Stanley, come. Yes, nice job. So you could do recalls from the environment. So there's maybe an odor, a sort of a distraction, maybe some grass. So even threw another little snack for Mr. S. Nice. That's okay. That was beautiful. And then call him to you. Nice. So Stanley's doing a really nice job with Oren. So a lot of times too, as your puppies, there we go, feed him for that too, Oren. That's a nice little sit he just gave you. If your babes are ever getting too excited, like puppy-wise, don't forget about using gear at times to help your puppy. You can actually practice a little bit. Feed him when he's paying attention to you. Nice. Very good. Gorgeous. So another game that I like to play with littles is to work a bit with recalls, but I sometimes, again, I know there is the ping pong game that is a pattern game, but even before the pattern game exercises that I did with Bear, the other pup in the program, there's also what I was originally calling the ping pong game between you and another person while working recalls. So Oren, see if you can go towards the end of like where the leash wall sort of ends, like about there is fine. We're going to practice having him bounce back and forth between us. So let's say he's distracted by me. See if you can call his name. And do you need some more snacks actually? Okay, let's reload Oren with some more snacks. So this game, again, can be really helpful. So if you have other family members that your puppy is not as responsive with, we would want to go ahead, and you can feed him for that little sit. That's very nice. So you want to go ahead and sometimes practice with different family members, because if your puppy just seems to focus on one person because they're the main caregiver, then you may find that at times when it's needed for safety reasons, your babe may not respond to that other person. So Stanley, come. So let's say, for example, Stanley's very interested in Oren. Yes, but let's say he hadn't responded. I would go about half the distance and try again that second little recall. So if Mr. S is in love with Oren right now, nice job feeding him for checking in. I'm going to go ahead and go, Stanley, come. Yes, what a good boy. So Oren, see if you can call him now. Stanley, come. Nice, and feed him for that. Good job. So ready? Stanley, come. Remember too, with the amount of reps that you might be able to do with your puppy will vary from day to day, but it also will vary depending on your puppy's feelings for the time being, but also the environmental distractions. So go ahead, you can call him. So don't forget to come. There you go. Good job. So if, for example, Mr. S is doing amazing and he's done maybe, let's say, 10 or 15 little recalls, I know we've discussed it before, is stop while you're ahead. So if, let's say, your puppy's doing an amazing job, we want to practice making sure that we're not always making it into a chore or ordeal for the puppy to kind of keep working recalls until he wants to give up. So right now, again, Stanley, come. And let's say he's distracted because, again, he says he really enjoys orange snacks. I'm going to go a little closer. Stanley, come. And bring him back to where maybe I originally had called him. If backing up is tricky, like I know my backyard is lumpy and a little bit uneven, so that's okay, you can feed him. So what Stanley's learning is that checking in with the different people has value. But as I was mentioning, if backing up is tricky in your yard, as you call your puppy from that second distance, you could lure him and then walk forward so you don't trip and you can see where you're going. So Stanley, come. He's like, no, I really love Oren today. Yes, what a good boy. If Mr. S finds it a bit hard, remember to sometimes also jackpot your puppy. So I'm right now giving several teeny weeny little crumbs for doing that lovely check-in with me because he finds Oren to be very appealing. So now we're going to go ahead and see if Oren, can you try again calling him? Nice. So even if Mr. S is just working name recognition, he's doing a really nice job bouncing back and forth. Really, really pretty. So Oren, see if you want, maybe come more towards like the middle-ish, and then see if you can do a couple little find its again. So toss a food item. You can even toss it towards the camera over this way, and then call him from there. Nice. Feed him for that. Very pretty. And you can feed him either directly or right to the floor, whichever is easier. If Stanley was rushing my little guy and was really excited, you could just feed the ground if he was doing some jumping. But go ahead, toss another snack. Nice. Beautiful. And you can feed him for that. So I do love doing find its, even if there's no recall, because find its are a great way to introduce someone new to the game of just being intimate with your puppy for the first time, or maybe they're a little too excited, the puppy. Find its are great because the food is being given for moving away, and then as they check back in softly, the food gets tossed again. So go ahead and see, there you go, nice job, Oren. Gorgeous, and feed Mr. S for that. Super job. So right now, Stanley's realizing that maybe checking in with Mr. O off in the distance is really exciting. Nice. Good job. Stanley's like, I also enjoy climbing. He's a very agile man. He says, your snacks are delicious. Ready? Stanley, come. So notice as he was getting a little too excited, having a nice reliable recall, and then I could go into a little find it, helps Mr. S disconnect from Oren, where he was trying to give him a lot of nice little smoocheroos. So, but let's see if we can do a little bit more with this bouncing back and forth between both of us. So see if you can go ahead and call him, Oren, or do you need more? Nice, beautiful little recall. Stanley, come. Good job. So I'll give you a couple more snacks. So as we're also meandering, we're going to take a couple little moments to do this recall game. But then what I'd like to do is we're going to stop this video, and then we're going to show another way to work on loose leash walking without gear on, and having your pup start to orbit you and become more interested in checking in to come visit than to meander and get distracted or flustered by the environment. So we'll go ahead and do a couple more little find its, Oren. Nice. And then see if you can get him to check in. Beautiful. Feel free to maybe toss them over this way so you can kind of head down this direction and call them from there. So as your puppy's getting more comfortable with some of these find its and then checking back in with the handler, nice. Try to throw one snack at a time though, Oren, for right now, just so we don't get them so distracted. So find its with multiple snacks are great for disengagement or giving your babe a break from something they've noticed or they're getting overwhelmed or too excited. But for this game, I'd recommend toss one snack and then do the recall. But Oren, see if you can wander around a little bit and just try from a different position. Nice. So go ahead and toss the snack. Beautiful. And then see if you can call him again to you. Nice. Very good. So you can see with Mr. S, he's getting much more fluid, much more comfortable with bouncing back and forth between the environment and Mr. Handsome Pants over here, Mr. Oren. So I'm going to move over to the side. So I want you to move around and then see if you can call him from a different spot. Nice. Beautiful. Good job. Maybe some over here, meander a little bit. He says, I'm on to you. So go ahead and just stop right there, toss a snack. Oops. That's all right. So if, for example, Stanley didn't see it, try another snack and toss it somewhere where he can see. There you go. Nice. And then see if you can call him to you, or are you all out? That's okay. So you can see that with the bouncing back and forth between two different people or more can be a fun game, but we want to be careful that while you're doing that exercise, that you're not having everybody in the household yelling for the puppy. So if everybody is all of a sudden yelling for him to come when called, it's going to be very hard for him to hone in on just one person if all of us are talking. So make sure that one family member at a time is working the recall so you can help your babe start to hone in on everybody in the household and do really well from there. Nice. We'll give Mr. S a little break from this one, and then we'll work another little skill next. But good job, Stanley.